Now, you can see what actually did happen to the girl in room 2A.
Forgive me. There is no forgiveness.
Girl in room 2A, A Prison in Hell.
Adulteress.
Featuring Ralph Belloni. Girl in room 2A, A Prison in Hell. Rated R.
More importantly, what did happen to the house that vanished? Maybe you can tell us on this second segment of the Drive-In Asylum Late Movie. Next week's two movies are going to be Mirrors, a movie that I still haven't seen.
Me either. So I'm excited.
What made you pick that then?
Because I've always wanted to see it. So I was like, cool, then we'll watch it together.
Kitty Wynn's in it. How could it be anything less than stunning?
Yeah. And the girl in room 2A, I know that you love and I love as well. So very excited.
Yeah, the girl in room 2A was one of those movies I just like clicked on one night. I was like, you know what? I've run so many ads on the page for this movie. I never watched it. And it was so weird. I loved it. It just kept getting weirder and weirder. It was kind of like this movie in that I didn't understand the motivations of the characters in it. And maybe that's because this was a different time. I guess this was still, well, the early 70s. You know, the 60s had already happened. And, you know, now it was the swinging 70s. And I don't know, these characters just didn't seem to give a shit about much of anything, did they?
Yeah, that girl had a monkey that she slept with.
And
right?
Yeah, and there were people like doing it with their aunts, and all of a sudden this woman goes to Valerie, our heroine, goes to a strange house in the countryside, which by the way was in the middle of the woods, and there was a dirt road that they were driving this car on, and yet he had some kind of map that he was able to actually see a road. That was your first clue you were in the middle of a strange film. But then they get to the house. She goes inside. She leaves him there after they witness a woman being murdered. They never like jump out of the closet and try and help her, or that would have made three of them, and they could have restrained that guy easily. But instead, they just watched it happen. She leaves him there, and then when he never returns, she never goes to the police, and she never tells anybody.
Yeah. And then also, what do you call it? She hid in that car. She was getting chased, and you're like, don't get in the car. She got in the car.
It was like Laurie Strode in Halloween 2, is what Becca said. She just corners herself for no reason.
And then she went, I agree with Mike Justice's answer. Valerie was just oblivious. Like she was back in the house that vanished. And she's like, this house seems so familiar. Oh, what? They have the same tiger head. Like, no, you're in the same house.
It wasn't like it was a year ago, even. It was just a couple of days ago. And this is a good point. The version that I linked to on Groovy Doom was a beautiful print. I loved watching it. It was kind of a revelation because, I don't know, the VHS is kind of muddy. But that version that we watched appears to have been the actual print that played drive-ins under the title The House That Vanished. And it's one of those cheap, glorious Hallmark releasing title cut-ins at the beginning, just like the Don't Look in the Basement one. But unfortunately, it was missing about 15 minutes of the movie, including an entire murder, which was Valerie's flatmate. What was her, Lydia? I don't remember her name.
Yeah. It's Valerie's lucky she's pretty. That's the moral of the story. And also, we shouldn't judge the guy with the birds because he's a red herring. We're led to believe that he's evil, and he's really the one that saves her. Bill and I did figure out what the Hitchcock tradition is that the birds were in it.
Well, there was the birds and Psycho referenced in the same scene where she's walking through that filthy, dirty apartment. It was like a basement, basically. I thought she was in the cellar. I didn't realize she was in the downstairs flat, but there was a swinging lamp, just like Vera Miles when she hits the thing at the end of Psycho, and then all these birds flew out at her.
Yeah.
Shameless.
Sometimes I like to let the birds just fly around free.
It's bullshit.
I just let them just fly out and just go around. I said, Tim, I agree. I said to Bill, this is a very breast obsessed movie. It was pretty much every scene.
Oh my god, the boobs.
Yeah.
There was a lot of boobs, and I don't know, I didn't remember that. Of course, you know me, I'm not really looking for it, so
Yeah. There wasn't a lot of eye candy for you in this movie.
no.
So you had to start looking at boobs. That's how bad it was. You're like,
Well,
man,
you couldn't look away. I mean, they were right there.
no.
And that was pretty graphic, that disturbing sex scene between the nephew and the aunt, when
Yeah.
that was a little much.
Also, when her redheaded friend with the monkey, uh, they were like sitting around drinking wine and playing cards. She just rolled up to the table in like a totally sheer nightie, like that you could completely see through. And it was like, what? Why don't you just take that off? Like you're not fooling anybody. Also, my favorite part was she totally put on the Italian Gothic outfit of the white
Yes.
nightgown.
Oh my
Yeah,
god, all she needed was a candelabra and to be walking
yeah,
around with a raging storm outside.
yeah. And I agree with Paul. The camera works really good in this, especially there's a lot of like Bava kind of looking stuff with the fog and the blue tones and like the use of shadow and darkness the first time they're in the house, and then when she comes back to her place is really well done. Like I really dug that.
The first 10, 15 minutes of this movie are just absolutely stunning,
Yeah,
because I don't know, later on, like I said, the story starts to get more and more unbelievable the further it goes. But anything could happen near
yeah.
the beginning, and you really don't know where you are. I loved the first 15 minutes of this movie, especially because, like I said, that print that I linked to, even though it was edited, I'm glad I watched that one because I've never seen
Mhm.
it that good before, and it's
And
beautiful.
the wood scenes we talked about looked a lot like Torso,
Yeah,
like the scenes in the woods in Torso. There was a lot of that kind of look too, which was really cool.
that Carlo
So
Ponti could have released The House That Vanished in America.
he could have, and the same man that brought you Doctor Shivago and Torso. I'm sure there were people that were like, I don't know if I want to see Torso. Is it quality? Well, Carlo Ponti did do Doctor Shivago, so yes, it's high quality
Oh, it's
picture.
beautiful.
Yeah,
It's an important story about um, identity,
yeah,
just like Carlo Ponti likes to bring.
yeah. But yeah, I'm glad we watched this. This is I enjoyed it, and it's
Yeah.
there. Yeah, it might the story might not be great, but it's fine. I enjoyed it for
It's
what it.
okay, like, I'm not trying to shit on it or anything because it doesn't a movie does not have to make sense for me to in fact, if it doesn't make sense, I'm probably gonna love it.
Yeah, so
There was a
enjoyable
lot of why
for
is
me.
she doing that in this movie, which
Oh
is a great time.
yeah, she is probably one of the dumber heroines we've had in any of our movies,
I didn't
and that's saying a
understand why
lot.
she did anything she did.
Why? What did she see in that boy that made masks? Like those masks look like shit, right? And she's like, "These are beautiful. Are they? Like they look like something from Spencer's in the '70s. Like they don't look anything fancy." And she's just like, "These masks, I must have one." He was really pushy too. He was like, "Well, you're not going to call me. Let give me your number." And the photographer was like,
She was easily
"Yeah,
impressed.
yeah, perhaps."
She
She has really shitty. She has shitty taste in men.
Yeah,
I think that's the moral of this.
I mean, she's kinda dumb. Let's just come out and
Yeah,
say it because she doesn't even remember where she was on one of the most what had to have been one of the most traumatic times of her life, and her fucking roommate was raped and murdered right in the
yeah,
same apartment as her, and she's still there. Like,
yeah,
what did she need a brick to fall on her head? That was the whole problem is she got her friend killed because she got
yeah.
involved in all this stuff, and, like, the friend just lived there, and she died.
Yeah, Tracy, we all missed the friend getting killed. That was missing from this
Yeah.
print. You had to pick it up from the context clues, I guess,
Yeah,
from it.
it cuts from, like, before the murder to New Scotland Yard, and she's in there talking to the detective, and he's the one that tells you her roommate got raped and murdered, but unfortunately, the version I linked to was severely edited, probably by
Yeah.
Hallmark releasing to make sure they could do one of those triple Houses of Hell lineups and still be in a reasonable time frame.
I would love a totally cleaned up, gorgeous version of this to come out though.
Oh, it's
With
got to.
yeah,
It's
because
absolutely got to.
I think it would be reevaluated if so. Because a lot of people don't talk about Laraz, so I would love for that to happen. You didn't see her get killed, but you saw her boobs, and really,
Yeah.
isn't that what the director wanted us to see?
Hallmark
This
left in the
movie was
most important parts.
yeah, this movie was originally called The Boobs That Didn't Vanish, but they thought they're not going to print that in newspapers, so they changed the title.
It had to have been for time. That could have been the only reason that they cut that entire murder, because they left
Yeah,
in that graphic sex scene with the aunt and the nephew.
they're like, you know what? Do we want the murder that makes sense for the plot, or do we want to see an old woman and her nephew have pretty
She
intense
wasn't an
sex?
old woman.
An older woman, not as young as the other girls in this movie.
Yeah, she was very pointedly a lot older than he was, which made it kind of
She was
creepy.
more age appropriate for me, is what you're saying. Okay, that's fine. I understand.
Well, I didn't want to come right out and say the words.
Yeah, but that's okay. I understand.
The blouse that vanished.
Yeah.
Yes. Comment of the evening.
Scream and boobs.
By the way, thanks to everybody for coming back for the second segment. We've got almost 20 viewers right now. Not too shabby
Wow.
for 2 a.m.
And we have to thank someone for making a donation, right, Bill?
That's right, Tim Dorch. Thank you very much. You're
Yeah,
going to
thanks, Tim.
be in next week's sponsors corner in the credits. Aren't you excited? And we are
Yeah.
very thrilled that you guys will support us. So thank you very much. If you want to make a donation, send a PayPal to groovydoom@gmail.com. Any dollar value will get your name in the credits. So
Yeah.
we're going cheap.
Yeah. Thank you guys that do. And thanks everybody that likes and shares the show, and especially everybody that comes in and stays in the chat and talks, which is really good. So thank you. We appreciate you guys.
Yeah, that
Very much.
naked girl holding the monkey.
Yeah.
That's really taking your well-being into your own hands.
Yeah. The I like that she was like, I just want to lay in bed with my monkey, and he's like, Valerie's here, get the fuck up. And she was like, what's she gonna do different? You know what I mean? Like, she's not gonna put on any more clothes. She's just gonna not be fucking around with the monkey in bed. I don't know.
Very strange personal dynamics in this movie, which again is one of my favorite things.
Everybody kind of has probably slept with everybody or knows everybody way too well. Like, I got that kind of feel.
Even the people who are related.
Yeah, well, yeah, exactly. Most essentially the people are related. Those birds probably fucked the monkey. I mean, who knows what happened? Who knows what? It's the 70s, man. Is it too soon to talk about 1972?
It's not, and we're talking
No.
about it. Oh, by the
Also,
way,
mhm.
that reminds me. Sorry, it sounded like you were going to say something there. Go ahead.
Oh no, please. I'll hold my thought.
Well, I did look up some ads for "Don't Go in the Bedroom," which was one of the supposed AKAs for The House That Vanished. I kind of still think that "Please Don't Go in the Bedroom" is the Cannibal Man, but
Yeah.
I did discover something interesting.
Mm.
The House That Vanished, it's all screwy on IMDb. This is one of those things where, you don't really know where they're getting this information. IMDb's release date claims that The House That Vanished was released in the United States in April 1973, including a date in Pittsburgh. Well, I researched that and it's bullshit. And I don't know who put that in there. One of the most horrifying things is I think it might have been me, because I'm like one of the people that goes in there and fucks with those release dates. So I hope it wasn't me, but it was totally wrong. I could not find any instance of The House That Vanished playing in the United States under that title until 1974. And June of 74 is approximately the time it started appearing. However, Please Don't Go in the Bedroom, which we're looking at right here, That was exhibited in November and December of 1973. So if this
Mm.
is The House That Vanished, aka Scream and Die, which was, I think, the original title, then that was kind of early for this movie to be exhibited in the States. That's like 6 months, 7 months before it actually started playing as The
Yeah,
House That Vanished. So that's kind of interesting.
I love it.
Uh,
I like that they have the same design, but it says you'll never
yeah,
forget it.
they kind of like broke the mold here a little, and that's the last time they did anything like that too. You never saw them
Yeah.
change that
It,
repeating chant. It's only a movie.
yeah. And they call out the "Don't look in the basement" from the people that brought you
Hmm.
that too.
In fact, I didn't include it, but there's oh, by the way, here's this screaming woman who we also saw in the ads for Slaughter Hotel, also a Hallmark
Mm-hmm.
uh, a Hallmark release. But Pamela Coleman said that she loved Slaughter Hotel. This image is from the movie Frankenstein 80. And for some
Yeah.
reason, I guess Hallmark was thinking about releasing that, or they just had some 8x10s with this woman. This is the butcher that he murders in the freezer.
Nobody had a problem with her wearing that fur coat, huh?
I know. Oh, that would be so. It should get red paint thrown on her today.
Yeah. Yeah. Today it would be over.
I
Over.
didn't save this. This alternate ad that I saw. The one we're looking at right now was just a little Tuesday screening. Please don't go in the bedroom with spirits of the dead and the vampire lovers.
Wow.
Yeah, that's a horror-orama if I ever heard of one. But the week before that, or maybe like even a couple days before that, Please Don't Go in the Bedroom was also showing, but they mistakenly called it Please Don't Go in the Basement.
Wow.
They got mixed up.
What I was gonna say is, what was I gonna say? I had a really good point. I thought. Oh well, it's gone. It was there, and now
I'm
I'm old now.
sorry. Look what I
No,
did.
no, it's good. It was something about it'll come back to me, I promise. Oh, I remember. So when the girl gets killed, in the first girl that gets killed, the one where she's watching it and we can't see who it is, we can only see the cigarette smoke and stuff.
Oh yeah.
Um, it's really interesting that she's like, we could have gone to my place, but we decided to go here, and it's like that bed had to be fucking filthy. Like, do you know what I mean? That whole house
Ew.
had to be filthy, and it's like what? Like, there's no heat and there's no lights, and it's like, yeah, I get. Mike said it. The killer's grudges. He thought beautiful women were stupid. Yeah, it
Yeah.
happened in here. It totally did. She's like, yeah, we could go somewhere else, but I guess we're here now and let's do it. And she just starts getting undressed, and it's like, this place probably has spiders and bugs everywhere. Like,
Nobody
this
was
is like,
cleaning that place. It would have smelled it all mildewy in that bed.
yeah. Yeah, and then
Disgusting.
nobody fixed the bed up. They just left the blood stains all over the bed when she got
Oh,
to the room.
that was the limit. Like, I'm
Yeah.
not getting in that bed. Obviously, there are other bodily fluids in this bed too that I'm going to find kind of unpalatable.
Oh, Paul. She gave you her all.
No
And
keys,
yeah.
but please, my Paul.
Uh but yeah, bad decisions all around. Luckily, the weird neighbor who was super into birds ended up being a good dude. You know, you were thinking, is he the killer? Is he the you guys? I even did. I was like, this guy, he's wearing those gloves, and that's a bad thing. And I was wrong, and I'm sorry that I judged his book by its creepy cover.
Is this a Jalo?
It feels the flash of the switchblade really feels like it, doesn't it?
There were a lot of Jalo elements in this. There was even
Yeah.
a,
There's a
a non existent police investigation.
Yeah, exactly. Uh, there's nobody trying to solve the murder. Well, I guess she's trying to figure out where the house is, so that counts. There's fashion. The music isn't really great, but that's okay. There's very attractive women in various states of undress and psychosexual stuff. So yeah, I'd say there's some people that say only Italian movies can be giallo, and I'm not one of those people. So yeah,
But there
it
were
has
movies
elements of it.
that were obviously intended to be giallo, except
Oh
they
yeah,
were made in other countries. So can't I mean, are they not in the same genre?
I'd say they are. I mean, like Dress to Kill is giallo, and I'm happy to say that.
I was
There's
thinking
some
more
people that
House
like.
of the Blue Eyes of the Broken Doll, House of
Oh yeah,
Psychotic
there's
Women.
Spanish there's a bunch of Spanish ones that definitely are, so I I I think it is. It's something. I like this movie though. I think it fits in and it has the look and feel of it. So there, especially with that blue light and the fog, like
Yeah,
like you said, the first 15 minutes feel it. You know what? I think she was dating Paul just for his car. I think Paul's car, I agree with Steve, was awesome. She probably saw that car and she was like, I like what she was telling her friend. She's like, he's kind of like a child, but I like him. He doesn't want to meet any of my friends. And she's like, just like all the other guys you date. And that's what the first girl got killed. She's like, I tried to introduce you to my friends, but you didn't want to meet them. Yeah, because he's gonna kill you. He doesn't want to meet anybody else, so they know who he is. Paul. What are you doing, Paul?
he was a ding dong.
He he just like what do you in Beyond Darkness. If you're sleeping with an old woman that seems murderous and wants to put you in a mental institution, just keep sleeping with that old woman and don't bring other women in and killing them, right? Like you're set.
I
Like
know.
let your old housefrau give you a hand job in the
She
bathtub
liked it.
that you just killed somebody in. Yeah.
She liked it too. Like she wanted it
I
to be
think
that
about
way.
that movie way more than I should, but yeah.
Did you just say Hausfrau?
Housefrau, yeah.
That's amazing.
I'm a writer. That's what I do. That's what writers do. Uh,
Hausfrau. It's like the Stepford
Housefrau.
Wives.
Yeah.
Liberated women are being turned into housefraus in the town of Stepford. What's causing it?
Oh, it's almost time for another Stepford Wives. You know that we've almost got to the point where they can do another one.
You know, once you know the punchline, it's just not a movie anymore. I don't
No,
know
it
why.
isn't. Hey, how about that
It could be like a
first Omen that
reaction
comes out?
video, though. Like, you know how younger audiences
Oh,
don't know that Blondie had the
yeah,
first number one rap song.
yeah, yeah. They should do that where it's like, hey, it's a bunch of influencers and they all get turned into Stepford Wives. They don't know about it because they don't have any
Because they never
experience,
saw the
and they're
Stepford
like,
Wives.
they never saw the Stepford Wives. And someone says later, like, it's just like the Stepford Wives, and they're like, I've never seen that. What's that? And then that's why they get caught into it because they have no knowledge of pop culture.
Yeah, Lee
So,
pointed out that her roommate kind of looked like Caroline Monroe, and I thought so too.
hmm
I forgot about that.
yeah, this movie did not have it had unattractive men, but not unattractive women.
Oh yeah, the
Most
women
of the
were
men were,
beautiful.
yeah, yeah, but the guys were very British, and not in a good way. I'm gonna make
What do you mean not in a
I'm gonna
good
make
way?
this. Well, I don't have any predilection for There's some handsome British dudes, I'm sure. Sorry, the earthquake was happening there. My leg was shaking. In case you're wondering, someone said last week feels like you're in an earthquake, and I'm like, yes, I know. Sorry, that nervous leg. Um, yeah, I think just the girls totally eclipse the guys in this movie because when you have like
Definitely.
Italian ones, you have like Ivan Rassimov and a couple good looking guys that are interesting looking. This had none of that. So, just my opinion as a straight guy that doesn't know much.
One of their friends was really strange looking. I think he was like he was a little effeminate, or he was like being played gay. Like he was really
Yeah.
kind of strange looking. He reminded me of that guy in Pink Flamingos that does the party trick at Babs's
Oh,
party. I'm not going to say what it is, but
Yeah. Surfing
yes.
bird.
Ba, 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 boom, ma, mow, mow, ba, boom, mow, mow, mow.
When that scene played at the Rex, it cleared out like about 30 people.
Oh my God,
I'm
I
like,
saw it at the Rex.
yeah.
Were you there?
Yeah, I
What if
was
we were in
there.
the same screening? Wouldn't that be a scream?
It would be, yeah. It would be a scream and die, is what it would be. Nice movie. But yeah, my friend Adam walked out at one point. During the licking scene, the licking of the house, he was like, I've had enough. And he just walked out. We're like,
That part?
yeah.
That was just
Yeah.
funny.
Yeah.
Oh,
He's like,
well, I mean, it climaxes with a blowjob. Was that what upset
yeah.
him?
I think it was the
The blowjob.
mother and son
Yeah.
blowjob. Yeah, it kind of upset him. Oh, Lee asks, is Jolin Venice any good? It's very graphic. It has a lot of genital mutilation in it. So if you're upset by that, no. But it's interesting.
Pamela asked if the mansion is still standing. I don't know anything about the location.
Mm-mm.
I
Me
hope
either.
so, though.
No.
That house was beautiful.
Yeah.
All of them were. Everybody had a really nice looking place. Even that little flat that the girls lived in. There was a lot of rooms in
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. Yeah. It was, and I like the girl with the monkey's bedroom. It was just like full of like wild stuff. You know what I mean? It was very
Yeah.
70s. Yeah. So very interesting.
I like the
Yeah, I
fact
like
that it
that.
was a dirty old mansion too. Like when they went into that old
Yeah.
place, I thought that was kind of
Yeah.
cool. I would have liked to have gone in there too at night. It would be fun.
Until you see someone killed and you're like, oh, there's all these what do you call it? Passports of women. And he's like, oh, and so there are.
I'm surprised she even.
You know what? Go ahead, sorry.
No, you.
The other part I really liked was when she finally found her old boyfriend in the closet, and then there were all the other bodies behind him. One blinked,
One of them
but
blank.
but that was very slasher movie, like nascent slasher movie
Mm-hmm.
that of like finding all the bodies like that. That was kind of not a trope that was explored. Versus much later, that would happen all the time at the end of movies.
She also got into that closet with a bunch of bodies that had been in there for at least a week or more,
And she didn't
and
smell
she
them?
didn't
Yeah.
even know. So that was
No.
too much. That was taking too much liberty with the truth.
I think she is the dumbest person ever. She's like, "What? I guess I'll get in that same closet again.
I don't know. This house looks familiar.
It must be this house. This horrible house that vanished. That I couldn't find for the longest time that men always keep taking me to."
Oh, that's a good
Why?
point. I still don't know why the house vanished.
Yeah.
Do you?
I think that no. I think it vanished from her brain. She was like, I was in this house and it was only 10 minutes away from town from walking distance, but yet we got there on a crazy road that we had to have a whole map for. Who was the boy that they dropped off that was looking at her nudie pictures? That little kid that was in the back of the car. What's his story? I thought, is this kid going to be in it more? No.
Thank you, Matt. Matt picked up on my little
Yeah.
joke. Dirty old
Yeah.
mansion.
There's so much fog too. Oh my god, the fog.
Oh yeah. It was a Bava-esque fog escape. And it was just,
Yeah.
perfectly lit. Again, a beautiful print. I loved it. Even if it had that green line going through it, I didn't care. It was
Yeah.
grindhouse style. But
My favorite part is when the alt title came on, that you could actually hear the projector sounding different, like a different piece was running through it. It like got kind of loud for a second, then it went back down. That was pretty sweet.
Lee says Steve knows why it vanished. So Steve,
Mm,
if we missed your comment explaining why the house vanished, please resubmit because
yeah,
I
I'm
still don't
interested in
know.
this theory.
It's kind of why even ask why she couldn't find the house the second time because she doesn't know what she's doing most of the time.
I think if you stranded her somewhere and 5 minutes from her house, she would not be able to find her house again. But
She really was a
she's
cliche of a fashion model.
yeah, she's gorgeous, so she's fine. She'll be fine. You know what I mean? Like she'll make it. Don't worry, guys.
Was she a fashion model? I didn't get that either. Like, what kind of a model was she? Because there were like,
I think she was a page 3 girl, is
yeah,
what I thought. I thought that she was kind of like just like a she belonged to camera clubs, uh, like a young Betty Page.
it was like, pictures of her in her brassiere. It was
Yeah,
shocking.
yeah. She Bill mentioned it too. This is I love when Bill mentions female body parts. She's very skinny for how big her breasts are. She's like very very thin, and all of a sudden, but he said it vanished because she has a poor sense of distance and directions. She was looking for it in a junkyard. Steve said, "I agree. That's the answer."
I don't
She
know.
the actress who played her posed for the European Penthouse and then moved to Barbados in 1980, and now she is a voiceover director in England. So, little background on her. She's also in Old Dracula too, Bill.
Oh, Vampira.
Yeah. Eldon said she's his new movie crush. I think that's not a bad crush to have.
Yeah, she's pretty. I wasn't trying to
Yeah.
be critical of how thin she was or how big her
No,
boobs were. It was just an interesting kind of
she has the
combination.
weirdest diet though, because at one point she drinks a cold milk and smokes a cigarette.
Yeah.
And and Becca was
Uh,
like, "Yeah, that's great. That's the greatest thing." And I'm like, "Is it?"
she's unhealthy as fuck.
Yeah. She's like, "That wasn't and that was whole milk too." She was like, I'm not doing anything. This is whole milk. Right from a cow. It's not even pasteurized. Fuck it."
She just like squeezed the teats and
Yeah,
got
she
the
was like
milk.
squeezing the teats in. That's how she does it.
Ew. You
Ew.
can't do
Ugh.
that.
You can't. You got to get it pasteurized. You
Well,
got to
anyway,
get it. Anyway, yeah. I'm drinking almond milk now. That's how healthy I am. I'm just like, squeeze them almonds.
I drink oat milk now.
Oh, do you? Ooh.
Yeah. I don't
You
even
like it?
like regular milk anymore.
No, I usually drink skim and then I'm like, you know what? I like almond better. So,
I don't like almond, but I love oat milk.
oh, good.
And like it's just I went back to regular milk because I ran out of oat milk for a while and it just tasted gross to me.
We were at Target last night and Becca and I saw a guy wearing a Lucky Charms sweatsuit. It was a whole sweatsuit where the front of
Ooh.
it had Lucky filling the back, and on the back it had a girl bent over waving holding a box. And it said, "It's really sweet." And Becca was like, "What? Where would you get that outfit?" It's amazing. And she said, "You should get an outfit like that." And I said, "Mine would be Crackle and Oat Bran because that's what I eat." The most boring old person cereal. She said, "What prizes come with that? A Walker. If you get 3 boxes, you get a Walker." So yeah.
They had all these things at Marshall's for Christmas, and I got some of them for Mark. They were like socks and underwear, but they were packaged
Mhm.
like cereal
Oh yeah.
and other products. And he must have unearthed one of those boxes because it was sitting on the bar, and it was like
Oh,
all these breakfast cereals. And I saw that, and I walked over, and I was like, what did Mark get?" And I realized it was socks with like Fruit
oh,
Loops and Frosted Flakes printed on it.
oh. I
Luckily,
have a lot of those too.
you do?
Yeah, Becca always buys me this. I don't know. At some point, I must have mentioned to her mother offhandedly that I liked Old Bay. I don't. I don't know why, but like she buys me Old Bay stuff all the time. I got a hat for Christmas and socks, and then like an Old Bay shirt. And I said, and then she brought over Old Bay cheese. What do you call it? Cheesy poops for me, like whatever those are, cheese curls, and they were Old Bay flavored. And I was like, I can't eat any of this because of my, my acid reflux. And then Becca's like, I don't know where she learned that you like Old Bay. She's like, because I didn't know you liked it. I thought it was weird that you were getting all these Old Bay gifts. And I'm like, we really gonna have a talk with her about this at some point. It's weird how these things happen because if you don't tell somebody, then you become the guy that likes Old Bay. So please, everybody that watches the show, if you don't make it, just make a donation. Send Old Bay to my house.
I can't believe how expensive some of that shit is.
Oh, what, Old Bay or just like
Mm-hmm.
socks? Yeah.
Old Bay.
Yeah. I don't, you know what? This is old man yelling at the cloud shit, but just go with me for a second. I was in Sheetz the other night. If you're not from Pittsburgh, Sheetz is like a 7-Eleven or like, but it's like they have food and stuff. And I was going to get chips with my meal, and a small bag of chips were like $2.89, like the small bag. And I
Yeah.
was like, no, I don't need this. It was so weird. I don't know. I just felt super cheap, and I'm like, I should just get them. And I'm like, no, I don't need it. So,
Well, you're bumming me out.
yeah, let's talk about good stuff. Hey, look, here's what came in the mail. I got one movie this week. I got The Inspector Wears Skirts 2. If you've seen the first one, it's like a Hong Kong Police Academy. It's about a guy and a girl school, like police academy, and all sorts of wackiness happens. But then there's also like crazy scenes of fist fighting and karate action. Really fun. And 88 Films put this out, and they and MVD sent this to me. And I'm really excited. The other two are coming out too. There's 4 of these altogether, and I definitely recommend it. So excited to watch that. Thank you, MVD and 88 Films.
Far out.
Yeah. I'll talk about positive things now and not just Old Bay and yeah, it's kind of like Ninja Academy but good. It's the first one's really good. Cynthia Rothrock's in the first one, so it's pretty exciting. So, Bill, this week on the site, I'm doing another week of the research book, and here's a couple of movies that are coming up: Live Fast, Die Young, Werewolves on Wheels, Faster Pussycat, Pink Flamingos, which has never been on the site before. These
Ooh.
Are the Damned, which I really dug. Monster A Go-Go, Shock Corridor,
Monster
Motor
Go-Go.
Psycho. Yeah. White Slaves of Chinatown, Bill. I finally watched it. Oh, that Olga's mean.
Monster Go-Go
Oh,
is up there with movies where you only see the monster for like 1.5
oh,
seconds. And they have this
yeah.
great, tall, creepy dude, and he's literally only in the movie for 2 seconds.
I was talking like the narrator in White Slaves of Chinatown all night Friday night. I kept telling Becca the syndicate is in charge of this. The syndicate doctor. I like the abortionist in it, where he's like, he doesn't care about anything. It's just another pile of flesh to him. He's
Olga
a
is so
doctor for the
mean.
syndicate.
She
Oh
is
my god!
so mean.
Except when she throws a weed party for her girls, and she feels a little tender to them, and she realizes that she just wants to lay with that one girl.
Yeah.
But otherwise, she's mean.
She's like Mrs. Deer from Blood and Lace, because
Yeah,
that's one of my favorite things about Blood and Lace is about how Mrs. Deer is so mean, and she like torments that girl in the attic with the glass of water and everything. But yet when Ellie wakes up from a nightmare, Mrs. Deer comes in her and starts talking to her like she's her mother. And she's like, "Now
yeah.
you just had a nightmare." She's like trying to calm her down and be maternal for a second. You're like, wait a minute.
There's a couple times where Olga is maternal in it, but most of the time, she's just man. The same day I watched Ilsa Harem Keeper, the Oil Sheiks, and Olga the same day. So like my worldview was very skewed that day.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. My favorite part of Harem Keeper, the Oil Sheiks, is at one point Ilsa says, "Let's see how well she'll dance when we cut her feet off."
Olga or Ilsa.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Ilsa, she cuts a girl's feet off because she's dancing and she has a jewel in her belly that has a camera in it. And then she's reporting back to her American bosses what's going on inside the. Also, didn't Ilsa get shot in the head at the end of the first movie? Yes. How is
Don't
she still
ask
alive?
these questions.
She gets killed at the end of every one of the movies, and she comes back. She's back again.
It
My
wasn't
favorite one, of course, is that. Mhm.
it wasn't Michael Myers that got his head chopped off. It was a medic
No.
that had the mask
Yeah.
on, and his larynx was crushed, so he couldn't say anything.
No. I was just going to say Mike Justice. I watched Wanda the Wicked Warden or Greta the Jess Franco one. And it's like Jess Franco had a personal challenge. It's like someone said, those Ilsa movies are really repellent. And he was like, I can make it more repellent. I can make something real disgusting. And they're like, he just took it as a challenge, like a lunatic. And he did it. He certainly did it. Man, that movie. But anyway, they were up on the site this week, all the Ilsa movies. And if you didn't listen to the new podcast, the new episode, a lot of people guessed and didn't get it right. It's Bud and Lou, the TV movie with Harvey Korman and Buddy Hackett, all about Bud Abbott and Lou Costello and how much they hated each other. It ruined my childhood, Bill. It was so depressing. It's the most
Yeah.
depressing movie. Yeah. Yeah, it's rough. And wait, I can't remember what next week's movie is. Let me look it up. And not tease it. How about that?
Well, first of all,
Well,
there's 2 movies next week.
Oh, but on the podcast.
On the
next week-
podcast.
On the podcast. Yeah. Next week we have 2 movies. We have Windows and we have The Girl in Room 2A.
No,
And
Mirrors, not Windows.
Mirrors. Sorry, what did I say?
Mirrors is the original movie. Then came Windows. Then came Curtains.
Yeah.
It's a trilogy.
Ah, okay. And then next week on the podcast is a movie based on a TV show that nobody saw for a long time unless you had HBO. So that's the hint. So
Unless you had HBO.
yeah. So anywho, I'm super excited for next week's, and I'm glad we watched this though. I feel like we finally got to talk about 1972. We're still gonna say it all the time. Is it too soon to even next week? We're like, is it too soon to talk about it? So we just talked about it last week. Yeah, we'll just talk about it again.
Do you have HBO, Sam?
Not now. Yeah, I have Max now. It's not. There's no HBO now.
You have
Whatever,
high
Max.
body odor?
I have Hey Beastmasters on is what I have. We didn't have HBO as a kid. I would beg my dad for it. Dad, please. Please, I need to watch movies and I don't want to go, we would have to go to my grandparents and watch it. And he would just be like, nah, we're fine. We don't need it. I'm like,
We told everybody that I knew. There was always somebody in my life that had HBO. So when I was like
Yeah.
7 or 8 years old, my grandparents had it. And that's when I watched like The Car and Little Girl Who Lives Down the Lane. Lots of good stuff like that. And then when they after they moved, my dad had HBO, and I would go to his house on the weekends and watch whatever R-rated stuff I wanted, like Halloween, Friday the 13th. But then like a couple years after that, my mom got it for us. And they used to put a box on your TV to get the HBO, and it was just like a switch that you would turn on when you wanted to watch it. And there was this really dumb feature where you could lock the back of it, like it was a parental lock, and there was an actual key that the parents would take, and she never used that. So I watched whatever I wanted when she wasn't there.
Yeah. I think that's there wasn't really anything that bad on HBO. Cinemax was and Showtime had all the stuff you really wanted to see, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. There was never anything on Showtime or Cinemax that I wanted to see. I was glad that I had HBO. Every once in a while, though, there'd be a something I was desperate to, like a horror movie I had never seen. I'm like, oh my God, it's on Showtime. Oh, I can't watch it.
Cinemax had. I remember I was watching Cinemax one night without sound. You could turn between the channels, and that's the first time I saw Emmanuel in America, and I was like, "Oh, this movie's, it's going pretty good." And all of a sudden, I'm like,
"That's the one you saw."
Yeah, and I was like totally ill prepared for there to be a snuff scene in it, and like it takes a turn that you're like, I'm just gonna put my clothes back on now. Yeah, I love it. Now I love it. But as a kid, I'm like, I don't understand what I'm getting.
I feel like there was something like that in the States, Eldon.
Yeah. I know Chris had it. He talked about it before that he had one channel that like cost a lot and had had a whole bunch of different movies. Like it had like 40 movies a month. I can't remember what it was called.
Yeah, there was. Yeah, the name is escaping me right now, but that was one of the first places
Viewer's Choice or something, maybe.
they had the swinging monster,
Oh
aka
wow.
the Lorelei's grasp, which was,
Oh.
I mean, making it sound like a sex movie. I guess
Mm-hmm.
this movie
It
was.
is. It kind of is. It's got a little bit. It's also got it's got a lot in it.
It's got puppet monsters in it, which every Amando Diasoria movie has puppet monsters
Oh,
or some kind of like
it also
silly
is that the one
costume.
that has the beautiful woman that lives in the lagoon, like that you have to swim to get to.
Well, she's the Lorelei, and she turns
Yeah.
into a lizard, a murderous lizard, when the moon hits her or something.
When are we going to show his Loch Ness epic?
Oh, the sea serpent.
Yeah.
I'm dying to show the sea serpent. I always forget about that one. We're gonna have to do that.
Yeah. Yeah. I love that movie.
Oh, let's look at some ads.
Let's do it.
I pulled some stuff from the page. Oh, my mouse died. Okay, there we go. Dun, 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 dun. Night of the Living Dead.
Oh.
Now, this was when Night of the Living Dead first came out. It was Doctor Who and the Daleks was the co-feature,
Wow.
and here you got Ghidra. How cool is that? This is from Tucson,
Oh.
from the original fall of 1968 release of Night of the Living Dead. Look, they drew a bikini on the naked zombie.
Wow.
I know that font is awesome, Eldon. And Sam, did you ever notice that it's similar to the My Life with the Thrill Kill called font?
No, I never noticed that. That's hilarious.
I don't know why that
It
never
really
occurred
is.
to me.
Wow.
Yeah, it's like pretty much the same kind of font. They won't stay
You know, it's
down.
funny. What movie played with Knives of the Avenger? Was it Ghidra or Gamera played with Knives of the Avenger?
Gamera,
Which always
yeah.
blows my mind. That's like you put it up this week, and it's always like such a weird double feature to me.
Yeah, it may be in this slideshow that I put. I think I
Ah,
pulled
because
it.
that's almost like a Western, like how it is. Oh, look at this. The Apache.
Naughty, naughty movies at the Apache. And one
I
of
love the Apache logo so much, Bill.
Did you notice? I did it for our
Yes,
timer.
I did.
I made it say Drive-In Asylum. Both of these movies are by the same director, whose name is escaping me right now.
Ed Wood.
No, Ed Wood wrote Orgy of
He
the Dead,
wrote Orgy of the Dead. Yeah, he wrote Orgy of the Dead.
but the same director did both of these movies, and I can't remember his name.
If only I had a magical box.
If I do it, it'll make the show start to lose connection. So it's
Yeah.
better if you do it.
Yeah, if only I had a box that I could look it up. And
IMDb is like it's a huge drain on your system every time you open it up.
oh, I know. It's Stephen C. Apostolov. That's who directed Suburban Confidential.
Him. An
Yeah,
expose
him.
of sexual behavior in Astrovision, Sam.
He also directed Five Loose Women and Lady Godiva Rides and Hot Ice, The Beach Bunnies, The Cocktail Hostesses, Dropout Wife, The Divorcee.
The Cocktail Hostesses. I just found an ad for that the other day, and I had never noticed that movie before. That's an
He used the
exciting
name
title,
Ace.
The Cocktail Hostesses.
He used the name A.C. Stephen for a lot of his movies.
AC Nicholas?
Yes. Wow. Suburbia Confidential. He also used the name Jason Underwood for that movie. How about that? Wow. He made Lady Godiva Rides. Gained a reputation for creating high-quality mass entertainment with minimal budget. One of the few directors to work steadily with Ed Wood, as well as Renee Bond and Marsha Jordan. He has a quote here. Once upon a time, tits were so taboo that we had to invent an entire genre just to show them off.
I don't know what everyone's
Oh,
problem is with boobs.
I have Cave of the Living Dead on DVD, and I've never watched it, so I really want to see it. So I got
Well,
to rectify that.
if I remember correctly, there is no monster in the movie that looks like that, so don't get too excited.
I know. I want the monsters to look like these.
I know. I feel kind of ripped off that they don't.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
look at
that one looks like a lion man in Tomb of Torture. I don't think he's in the movie.
what the hell does born murdered mean? That's a disturbing
Wow.
concept.
Yeah. Wow. That's like the kind of sign that would be up outside a Catholic cemetery. You know, they have those ones of babies like, I have eyelids at 1 week.
Born
Born
murdered.
murdered. Yeah.
It's just so lurid. And Horror of
Yeah, I like
Dracula, a
it. That's a
respectable movie among these.
yeah. Yeah. It's like, what am I doing with these people? What's a nice movie like you doing in a place like the Apache?
I just noticed Mike Justice's comment about Born Murdered. He's as outraged as
Yeah.
we are.
Yeah. Born murder. Oh boy, little Jess Franco. Oh
Just
boy.
for you.
And just for me, 99 women. Whisper to your friends you saw it. Bill, I saw the violent ones and 99 women. I don't want anyone else to know. Yes.
Shut up.
Did you see that Aldo Ray is in the violent ones?
Ooh. No, does he take his clothes off?
He's fully erect.
I doubt that.
One girl's shock awakening from innocence. 99 women behind bars without men. From the exciting story by Peter Warlock. I bet he doesn't exist. Man, I really like the romance cover, or romance comic book illustration there behind the bars.
Mm-hmm.
It's really nice. It's like, wow.
Mercedes McCambridge, aka
Yeah.
Pazuzu.
Pazuzu, yeah. Man, this movie, Maria Schell,
And Herbert Lom. I'll be in anything.
Oh, he's like, did you call Donald Pleasance? They said, he said no. He never says no. You're lying to me. I'll be in it.
All right, get Lom.
Herbert Lom. Get Lom, get Carradine, and get Pleasance. All three in the same movie. Or Cameron Mitchell, I agree, Lee. Like, if those guys can't do it, let's call Cameron Mitchell.
I wish I'd have got Aldo Ray for 99 women.
Oh, but come on. Right? It starts at 7:07 tonight, Bill.
Not a minute sooner or not a minute later.
No woman will be admitted to see this super shock film. Not even no woman alone, which is the way it should be. It's like, nope, no women. We're cutting our our profits in half. So
it's a dumb marketing strategy.
It is, like, yeah.
Also, total bullshit.
Yeah, I'm sure if you showed up to Midway and you had money, like, am I allowed to see this? And yes,
theater owners would beg to differ.
Written by the same guy that wrote The House That Vanished. Corruption. Hey, there's a major studio sneak preview in color with two of Hollywood's biggest stars, Bill.
Who?
At 9 p.m. only. I don't know. They're setting it up. It's probably Herbert Lom and Cameron Mitchell.
Aldo Ray.
Aldo Ray in person.
Hollywood's biggest stars.
Biggest stars. Milton Berle and I don't know who else. Oh my God, this ad.
Yeah, this is a beautiful thing.
Where is Tora Satana's name?
I don't know.
Put her way over John Carradine and Wendell Corey.
That artistic representation of a woman who seems to resemble her is interesting. It looks more like Paul Stanley.
It does. Like, hey, everybody, you want a free skull band? If you're one of the first 100 patrons, you can get one.
I was talking to someone backstage that told me a lot of you are astro zombies. Well, all right.
They shine a flashlight in the side of your head to control you. All right. Man, the Astros on. You know, I watched Motorcycle this week, and Haji's in it,
Yeah.
who's also in Faster Pussycat. And like, there's one point I just paused the movie, and I was like, I fucking love this movie. I love Haji. I love everything about this movie. What's Alex Rocco's in it? There's a scene where she has to suck snake venom out of a guy, and he's screaming, "Suck it harder, spit the venom out." I was laughing so hard. I was like, I don't know if anything could make me happier than this movie right now. This poster gets close though. I'm really excited about this. This is a good double feature.
Beautiful girls, mutilated, grotesque terror, so shocking you will die 1,000 deaths.
Oh
That's a hell of a claim.
my god! And then you get to Astro Zombies, and you're like, what? Okay,
Oh, John Carradine. Now we know what kind of movie this is.
yeah. Oh, okay. There you go. Oh, look at this double feature. This is a classy night.
This is a beautiful evening at the movies because both of these movies are just visually sumptuous, if you ask
Mm-hmm.
me. Dracula
Make
has
him a
risen.
party.
Dracula has risen from the grave is probably my favorite Hammer Dracula, just
Oh
because of the
wow.
way it looks. They're all beautiful, even
Yeah.
Scars is really cool looking, but there's something about those rooftop sets in Dracula Has Risen from the Grave that really just I've never been able to forget that ever since I saw this when I was a kid. How she comes, she lives in this beautiful house and she escapes through her bedroom window. There's a little patio
Yeah.
out there, and she climbs up over the rooftops to go to meet her boyfriend. I don't know, that alone, and even without the Dracula stuff in it, that's pretty awesome. And Fearless Vampire Killers. I don't know. When I saw that as a kid, I wasn't crazy about it. Did you like it?
I don't really. I'm like, it's okay. But yeah, I'm not like. I think it's pretty and it's got good visuals, but I just never really liked it.
Yeah, that's the best thing about it is what it looks like. It's
Yeah.
so beautifully shot, especially all those scenes in the snow.
Oh yeah. And the bathtub scene. Yeah.
Yeah, that scared me. I remember seeing
Yeah.
that when I was a little kid. Yeah, Eldon, Dracula Has Risen from the Grave opened with him frozen under the ice.
Ooh. The Navy and the Night Monsters, but maybe Van Doren.
I love Navy versus the Night Monsters. I don't care what
Oh, I do
anybody
too.
says.
I love Castle of Blood. I love all four of these movies. The Apache is, man, a wonderful place to go.
Yeah, they really knocked it out of the park. And they were dedicated. There were other drive-ins in Tucson that only gave you 2 movies. The Apache always gave you 4 movies. And it was often a themed presentation of 4 horror movies or 4 sex films. Sometimes they'd
Hmm.
shake it up a little bit and mix them up. Here's another one that I know you're gonna love. 'Cause it
Oh,
starts with one of your favorite movies of all time, Kill Baby Kill.
Kill Baby. Oh,
Kill, baby,
Operation
kill.
Power.
If there's nothing left for you,
And
new
The Sound of Horror too. I know
sensation.
you like that movie, don't you?
Um, I think I only saw it once. That's the one with the
Oh,
invisible dinosaur in it.
yeah. The crawling hind is coming up, and then the slime people. They come up from the bowels of the earth.
Yeah, ew.
Yeah.
I don't know what movie The Slime People is. I don't think I've seen that.
Yeah, I haven't seen it either. But I think if you just come for Kill Baby Kill, you're gonna be great. I think you're set.
Okay, so we got to the
What else do you need to see? What else need be said? You said it all about Kill Baby Kill. Oh, we've reached another. Last week we ended up with the daylight savings. We ended up like at 4 a.m, and
I know. We're
but
we're staring down 3 a.m. here.
I know. I said to my wife, I said, please do not wake me up early tomorrow. She's like, oh, I'm gonna just start banging pots and pans like I always do, which she does. She just starts like knocking stuff around like around 8:30. I'm like, just let me sleep, please,
One of these
for the
days
love
you're
of
just
God.
gonna snap.
Nah, nah. If
You'll
I
be
haven't by now,
you'll be on the news.
never. Yeah, no, I love my wife. I'm totally cool.
Oh, I know.
Yeah.
Oh, we're not the double feature tonight. Come on, Bill.
Oh,
There we go.
you
Late night.
fire that kid that is helping you.
I know. Our intern. We're gonna have to go
We're
to
gonna
a
beat him
paid
in the
intern.
streets.
Now that we got some donations, we can hire an intern.
Yeah, and then we can fire him. Like, yeah, get out.
So, oh, by the way, I wanted to mention that the music that was playing over the first timer, it was Human Sexual Response, a song called
Yeah.
Blow Up. And I don't know if any of you caught the lyric in there. He says at the near the beginning of the track, he's like, are you a joy bang or are you a killjoy? And I was blown away when I heard Joy Bang's name in a song.
Oh,
And then I thought about it and I was like, well, is that a phrase, a joy bang?
I've never heard it before.
Because on the lyric sheet it was
So,
all one word and it was lowercase.
mm,
It didn't say her.
hmm.
And of course we all know what a killjoy is.
Yeah, I'd like to think that it's Joy Bang,
I'm
who I love.
gonna go with that.
Poor Joy Bang sitting in that theater, just trying to watch a movie.
Eating an endless container of popcorn.
Yeah, and suddenly there's a lot of people in the theater, and oh,
I
how
hate
sad.
that part. I want to yell at her. Turn
Oh,
around.
I love her so much. She is as clueless as the main character in this movie, in Messiah,
Yeah.
which is probably why. Yeah, I realized I had a big revelation about actresses I like this week, Bill.
What's
About
that?
Mimsy Farmer. About Mimsy Farmer.
Oh yeah, I was just thinking about her. What was your revelation?
Because I watched Riot on Sunset Strip that she's in. She's Aldo Ray's daughter in it, Bill. That's a movie I texted you. I'm like, this has something for you and something for me in it. Um, in every movie she's in, she's always in trouble. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, or she's had like a horrible life, like in uh the one Argento movie, Four Flies. And she's like, she's screaming about how her father wanted a boy and she's what he got and she hates men and all this stuff. Every time I watch her in movies, I'm like, I love her. Like I want her to be protected and safe, and it's the same like way that I felt about girls in my past, pre-dating that always got me in trouble, and I realized that that's probably why I love her so much.
And that she's just amazing.
Yeah, she's really great in Four Flies. Her flip out at the end of Four Flies is great.
I have to watch Autopsy again.
Yeah, and she's really good in Strange Perfume with the Lady in Black, which I love that it's like she's like,
I
is
didn't
there a
know she was in
conspiracy
that
against
one.
me? Yeah, she's like, is there a conspiracy against me? Yeah, and they want to eat you. Uh, ew. It's wild, but yeah, I'm a big Mimsy Farmer fan. I
That's
like
pretty
More a lot.
amazing. Because
Yeah.
the perfume of the woman in black was that movie that was purchased by a company who didn't want to make money on it, and they basically shelved it after
Oh,
sticking it out for one screening as Cult of the Undead, and it was
oh,
a co-feature to Messiah of Evil. So that
those
night
those go together really well. They really go together well.
on that
So
screen, you
that's
could have
awesome.
seen Mimsy Farmer and Joy Bang in the same evening.
Oh, oh my God. And what's her name? And there's so many people in Messiah that are attractive. So it's a film filled. Well, there's also a lot of really frightening people too. But
Yeah,
yeah,
there's
yeah.
no hot dudes in Messiah of Evil. Again, no
No,
offense
there's
to
a lot
Michael
of
Greer, but
Michael Gur's attractive though.
I didn't say he wasn't attractive, but
Yeah.
he's just not. Even he said it was awkward for him to be playing a straight guy in the
Oh yeah.
movie. It just doesn't quite work, and he's just sort of presented as a dandy in it.
You know what's funny is I was thinking about seeing it. I know we said we talked about going to the drive-in a lot, but go with me on this. I was thinking about seeing it at the April Monsterama, and it's like I always think everybody's seen Messiah of Evil. Do you know what I mean? But you know what? They haven't. So there's gonna be a lot of like younger people that haven't seen it before,
Yeah,
and that's really exciting to me.
yeah.
Like,
I hope there's still, pretty many people on the lot because sometimes people leave after the second movie.
yeah, but I think that's gonna be really fun to see uh, in a drive-in environment. I'm excited. As someone that's watched it so many times, but we did the commentary on it and stuff. Like, I'm excited to see it again. So and watch it again.
Yeah, me too. I don't know. This
Yeah,
is going to be the first time I've ever seen it on a big screen,
yeah,
which is that alone is enough to get me excited. But just to see it at the drive-in, one of my favorite
yeah.
places to be, the Monsterama, I think that's going to be a gas. A
It's a
stone
what's
cold
funny is like
gas.
I've always like rediscovered movies that played there, like Toolbox Murders. Like I've
Yeah.
watched it and I liked it, but like watching Toolbox Murders with everybody and everybody enjoying it, like walked away like loving that movie so much more than I ever did before. Like, do you know what I mean? Like it was just like it hit me just right. It was
Unpleasant little movie.
yeah. So that was and I love that about going. So it's like the community part of it's the best part. So I'm looking forward to watching more movies with you guys.
And me as well. And next week, make sure you come back and hang with us. We're going to be watching 2 movies next week, so we'll be on at 8 p.m. And
Yep.
what one are we going to do first?
I don't know. Premieres?
Okay, we'll do Mirrors, and then after The Girl in Room 2A.
Yeah, I've never seen Mirrors, so I'm super excited about it, especially from that trailer. It looks really cool. So,
Oh, I made that trailer.
oh, did you? Wonderful. I love
Well,
it.
there is no trailer
Yeah,
for it, so I just had to cut something together real fast.
but
And
yeah, I'm super
there it was.
excited about that. And then I obviously love Girl in Room 2A, so it'll be another movie where women just scream.
I've already got the gist of Mirrors, and it's sort of like a voodoo story
Ooh,
to it. So
I like it.
there are voodoo dolls in it, and
Have we
it's
done
amazing.
Ruby or not?
I don't think we ever did Ruby on the show.
Yeah, we
I
should
did that.
probably
I
do that.
recorded that with Newcastle After Dark, and
Oh, okay.
it got taken down.
Oh,
Whoever owns Ruby didn't like it.
oh, Ruby, don't take
I
your
know.
guns to town. Come on, Ruby. Well, thanks everybody for coming up this week. Thanks to everybody that donated, that shares and likes, and just even if you're in the chat, thank you too. So,
Yeah,
very appreciative of everybody. I know I say this every week, but I look forward to this all week. Super look forward to it this week, and really enjoyed myself. So, thanks for everybody that came out and watched along. Look forward to seeing you guys next week. Bill, thanks for doing all the work you always do with the videos and finding the stuff. Super excited.
absolutely. It's the best part of my week.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'll think about it. I'm like, oh, I got to do some more video production for this show. I can't wait.
Yeah.
It'll be late at night. I'm like, I should go to bed, but I can go up and I can work for another couple hours. So
It's what I
I'm
did
into it.
this week. I was like had a rough meeting at work, and I was like, you know what? I should just look up the drink recipes now. And then I found one and I got so excited about it. And I was like, oh, that's gonna taste great. So yeah, I get excited about it during the week. Now I have to think of like what's uh a good girl in room 2A drink. So we'll see. Sometimes they're easy. This one wasn't easy, but I made, if you didn't notice in the drink recipe video, we made that like 9:15 this morning. So I'm like, I just had egg whites for breakfast, and then I'm like, oh, let's make a mixed drink. So yeah, it was good. Before I did a ceiling fan this morning and then fixed the shower. So that was my Saturday morning.
You are so handy. You are so
I had
handy.
help. I'm learning new stuff. I'm learning how to fix stuff. Also, the GI Joe room's almost done, so in a future episode, I'll be maybe starting the show down there so everybody can see it. So it's pretty exciting.
That's
Everything is.
awesome.
I'm hanging jets tomorrow that are going to be up in the air, like in the in the ceiling and stuff. So that's tomorrow's fun.
You should have Becca do a walkthrough video with you where you
Yeah,
show off your GI Joe collection.
it's funny because she took pictures of what the room looked like before when we first moved in too. So she has a lot of in progress photos. So it's pretty amazing what she's done because like there's new floor in there. It's totally repainted. There's I think like 15 shelves in there, like shelving units in there now. It's pretty incredible how it's going to look.
I can't wait to see it. I saw it when I was up there on New Year's Eve.
Yeah,
One
it's
one of these years when I
yeah,
went up there.
it's
Through
totally
that
fixed. It's
weird
totally different
winding
now.
path through the woods that leads to your
Oh,
neighborhood. It's like the house that vanished.
next time you can just go straight and it'll take you to town and then take a right. If you don't want to go up that weird hill, just
I'm
keep
not
going
gonna go up
straight.
that weird hill again. Yeah.
Yeah, just go straight and then when you get to
Never
7-Eleven, take
again.
a right. Yeah, never again.
Never
No,
in the
you don't.
dark
No.
on New Year's Eve going through a weird little rural road that leads through a giant stone underpass. It's
Yeah,
creepy.
yeah. Mike, I'm glad you gave us a B plus. It means we're going to work harder to give you less non-tent next week.
Yes, we're striving to bring you better and better content on a
Yeah.
weekly basis. And if you all come back, do it on the Drive and Asylum double feature. Good night, everybody.
Night, everybody.
Under 17 not admitted without parents or guardian. Under 17 not admitted without parents or guardian.